everyone, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel, or hi, hello if you're new here. Today I'm going to be doing my updated foundation routine for you guys and I'm super excited. I did one of these last year and I decided to do an updated version 1 since I am now using different products for my foundation routine. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right on into it. So normally before you put on your foundation, you're going to put on a foundation primer. I don't do this step every single day because the foundation that I use does last all day long, and I'm going to get to what foundation I use in just a second. But really quickly though, another reason to why I don't use foundation primer is because, you know, a lot of times in my day-to-day wear, I don't need my makeup to last all day long. Like, I just don't need that for day-to-day use. On really special occasions or on days when I'm like, yes, I really want my makeup to last, then I will use a foundation primer. But most days I just don't do it. I kind of don't really feel like primer is always necessary. But the primer that I do like to use when I do use primer, and just for kicks and giggles today, I am going to do this step in this video just to show you guys me applying a foundation primer. This is the one that I have been loving. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I just have like a little bitty sample size, but I love this foundation primer so much. It is kind of like a silicone-based primer, so if you are sensitive to that, I would not recommend this primer. But it also does a really good job at controlling my oil and my shine because I have kind of oily skin, so this helps to kind of control that. It doesn't claim to do that, but it does help, so yeah. And my makeup lasts about 12 more plus hours whenever I do use this primer, so I mean, it is a good primer. I would really recommend splurging on that one if you can. This is a little bit difficult because I'm not used to like holding a little mirror and doing my primer because, you know, like I'm in front of my vanity, so like I have a mirror in front of me. So this is just a little bit of a awkward angle, but I'm working with it. And I just use my fingers to apply my primer. You could use a brush if you want to. I mean, everybody's preference is very, very different, but I just use my hands and my fingertips. Alrighty, so next I'm going to be applying my foundation, and the foundation that I'm using today is the Revlon Color Stay Liquid Foundation, and this is in the shade 220 Natural Beige. Now, this actually does last 24 hours, just like it claims to on the bottle. So you don't necessarily have to use a primer with this. I just chose to today just to kind of demonstrate me putting on a primer. And I love this foundation a lot because, number one, it has a pump. So that is very convenient for me. Number two, this is a medium to full coverage foundation. You can build this up if you need to or if you want to. And number three, it is a good foundation for this time of the year because it is heat resistant, so it's not going to break off or kind of like melt on your face. This is literally going to stay on your face all day long. I love this foundation. This is about $10 to $12 depending on where you want to buy it or pick it up at. To apply my foundation, I use a silicone sponge. Now, this might be a little bit weird to some people, but the reason that I do use this to apply my foundation and to dot it all over my face is because it is silicone, so it's actually not going to soak up the product like a regular makeup sponge would. So you literally just need a tiny little bit of this, and it'll go a long way with this little guy. I love it, and it's easy to clean too because you can just clean it off with a makeup wipe. That is what I do every single night. It's very easy to clean and to use. And then to blend out my foundation, I use the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Blending Brush. This is about $6. You can pick this up anywhere that e.l.f. is available. I like this foundation mainly because it does have a tiny handle, so it is a lot easier for me to use and to control. The bristles are super soft as well, and it is a very dense brush, which means the bristles are kind of stiff and it is a lot easier to use to blend out foundation just for that reason. So that is what I do. So now we're moving on to concealer, and I apply concealer just underneath my eyes to kind of like conceal my dark circles. And the concealer that I use is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and this is in the shade number 10 Light. I actually really do like this concealer a lot. It does have a good coverage to it. At first, I really wasn't digging it, but I've learned a trick to it. And I'm going to show you guys that trick in just a second, because if you're not careful, this will crease on your under eye area really, really bad. So there is a trick to making this not crease. This is the exact same shade of my skin, because I don't really like buying a concealer that's lighter than my skin tone, because I don't know, I feel like that looks a little bit unnatural, or at least it does on me. So I just get a concealer that's the same shade of my skin tone. So yeah, this is about $6 or $7 at the drugstore. It's super inexpensive, and Maybelline has now widened their range of colors for this concealer as well, which is really awesome. To blend it out, I just used the oval concealer brush from my makeup brush set. This came in a set of oval brushes with a whole bunch of other ones. I actually do like this brush a lot. My only complaint is that the paint, as you guys can tell, like chipped off. It used to be gold, but the paint chipped off of my brushes really, really bad, and I have no idea why it did that. The bristles are very soft as well. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt to clean. Pretty much all the oval brushes are, because you gotta put some elbow grease into cleaning them. But I just thought I'd kind of give you guys that little update review on my oval brushes. They're okay, but they're not the greatest. And if I honestly could just buy one brush out of that whole set, I would get the concealer brush, because it really does fit nicely underneath your under eye area, and it does an amazing job at blending out concealer. So while the concealer is still kind of tacky and a little bit wet underneath my eye area, and it's not all the way dry, I am going to set it with this e.l.f. pressed powder in the shade Ivory. And to set the under eye area, I'm just going to use this powder brush from my Unicorn makeup brush set. This is actually a very soft powder brush. I like this one a lot more than I do the e.l.f. one. And really, the only area that I put powder on anymore is just underneath my eyes to set my concealer. So I am going to go do that now. So that is my completed foundation routine for summer 2018. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and let me know down in the comments below what is your favorite foundation, because I would love to know, and maybe I'll get around to trying it really soon. So without further ado, I will see you all in my next video very, very soon. Bye guys, thanks for watching.